All right, time is 7 o'clock, so let us start on time. Once again, very good evening to everyone present for day 2 workshop. And once again, I welcome on behalf of MTC Global Family and Mr. Sahil, the resource person. He is always on time. Just now I checked in WhatsApp and exactly, okay, 1 minute before he joined, I think he's from corporate, so he has that practice. Be on time and appreciate very much. And also the participants, those who have joined on time for the program, and I'm sure that other participants will join, okay, as the program starts. Thank you once again, and Sahil, please take over the session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot, sir. So we'll begin the session, I guess, or should we wait for like 1 or 2 minutes for others to join, or they can join in?
You can do the recap, Sahil, few minutes.
Yeah, we'll do the recap for that time. Other people will also join in.
Yeah, thank you.
So guys, yesterday we just talked about the AI things that help us to, resonate with our customers. So now I'll just start presenting the presentation first. I hope the presentation is now visible. Is the presentation visible?
No, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So yesterday we discussed about the tools, just the name of those, and we saw the Rare Rabbit tool, how it works. So today we are going to take on actually the hands-on with some of the tools. Like we'll be using ChatGPT, we'll be using Semantic Scholar, and we'll be using the other one, which is Canva. So these tools are actually, as I said yesterday, also very important in terms of resonating with the end user and simplifying our jobs. So that was basically the gist of what we did yesterday. Now, these were some of the tools that we were talking up yesterday, right? These were the tools. ChatGPT was there, Canva was there, Semantic Scholar was there, and we saw how Rare Rabbit or Research Rabbit works, right? These tools are basically meant for easing up our job. These are not replacement of us as researchers, but these are the tools that will help us to just resonate with the customer and to present our things very easily. So today, let's begin initially with what the tool is known as ChatGPT. So we will basically understand how ChatGPT is there and how ChatGPT is going to help us in doing research and in doing the ease of research. So this is the speaker's profile. This we have discussed yesterday. Now, let me just begin with ChatGPT. Now, if I talk about ChatGPT, so guys, ChatGPT as a whole, if we talk about as a platform, it is meant for generative pretext trainer, right? It is giving me a transcription of data that I am entering as queries. So whatever I enter as a query, I just get the data out of it, right? From ChatGPT. Now, whenever we are saying that we are using AI, it becomes very important that we talk about the ethicalities of things. So technically, what we will call today's session is using these AI tools, but ethically. So all the way throughout, we will be talking about using every tool ethically and more of using the tools for the betterment of our research and not just to copy and paste. So if I just start with the first tool, that is ChatGPT. So today when we say that ChatGPT is something which will give me, it is a language, it processes the large language model. So it is a tool that is basically generative in nature. We discussed yesterday that there are tools which are generative, there are tools which are, which are there for our discussions, which are like chatbots and others. So we discussed that also. So this is generative in nature. When I talk about ChatGPT, it is basically generative. So what generative means? Generative, first of all, means that ChatGPT can be used in terms of making something out of the large abundance of the large pool of the resource, and out of a query I just get my answers back. So first of all, I will like to quote a very simple statement that any AI tool whichever we are going to uncover from now on, it is basically an assistant. It is not an author at all. So we have to be very clear that these tools are not the actual author of the paper or the actual researchers. These are just what? These are just the assistants that are going to help me with the things. So if I talk about ChatGPT, it is simply there to help me to ease up my academic things, to ease up the things that I am going to do. Now, let us first understand wherein the ChatGPT can assist me with, right? So the ChatGPT as a whole can assist me in many places, from searching the context, from searching anything, to simplifying my research. So just to put it in points, I would say that the ChatGPT would basically help me in, first of all, brainstorming. It will help me to brainstorm my topics, to brainstorm an idea around which I am going to perform the research from step one. Basically, if I say ChatGPT is there, I can ask ChatGPT to suggest me a broad list of topics wherein I can use those topics to help me in my research. It can help me with a larger set of, the larger set of topics, or maybe in the niche area also, that wherever I am talking about, whatever I am talking about in the niche area, I need something to search on. First thing is, it is helping me in brainstorming the things. Second, it is helping me to give a structured outline, to my research. If I say that the chat gpt is going to help me to structure my research, that whether my research is going in a structured way or not, there I can use chat gpt. I can ask the chat gpt platform to, to give me something which is called as an outline of my paper, the skeleton, the basic skeleton which I will be using in the later part of my research. I'll be using a skeleton of it, right? So the skeleton, how the introduction should look, how the conclusion should look, how the body should look, this I can do with the help of chat gpt. It can also suggest me a logical flow, that how the information should flow in my research, how the information should be processed, right? That is another important use of chat gpt. It is not just for querying or just for entering a query and getting a data and just copy pasting it. Third, it is also very helpful, very helpful in finding the gaps in the literature. When we talk about the gaps in literature, they might be, there are certain gaps wherein the research has not happened in that level. There are certain gaps in areas where the research is, very nascent, where the researchers have not gone. There are specific questions that are not addressed in your research from, from anybody in the research fraternity. So we can use ChatGPT for that, right? To identify the gaps, whether the research is, in this area going correctly or not. After that, it can also help me in writing down my abstracts. not exactly just copy pasting my abstracts, but it can help me in writing down my abstracts in a much concise manner, in a much, helpful manner that are people understandable. So this is another area where ChatGPT can help me. So whenever I am writing some query in ChatGPT, I can give him an entire paper and tell me that please summarize this paper for me and simplify the language of it so that I can understand. Or maybe I am downloading some reference from somewhere. I can ask ChatGPT to help me with the things that are actually going to, which are actually complex. So it can just simplify those things for me, for my understanding, so that I get a good grab of the paper, that whatever I'm studying from the research, from the resources, I get a good grab of those things, and then I use those things into my own research in my own desired manner. So these are broadly the top uses of ChatGPT, where I can use the tool much powerfully and much, much handy to just benefit me. So what were the, basically I'll just reiterate. The first thing was it is helping me with brainstorming. The second was it is helping me with, structured outcomes. The third is it is helping me to find flaws in my, or research gaps in my literature review. Or the fourth one would be it is helping me in drafting the abstract and summaries for better understanding, whether of my own paper or of the any resource that is available in the public domain. After that, once we are clear with what the chat GPT is there to support me for, we need to be very clear in understanding that what are the ethical ways of basically using this tool. Now, this part is actually very important. This part is very important because ethics is something that we have to be, on top of our minds whenever we are using any generative tool, whether we are using any tool that incorporates AI into it. We have to be very ethical in it, right? So, wherein ChatGPT can help me using ethically things, I have to be very clear. Just because I'm using AI does not at all mean that I should not, take the help of it. Somewhere last time when we were doing the session yesterday, Jitendra told me that there are certain restrictions that the institutes put in, that we should not use, AI in our research, because they are actually concerned about the ethicalities, whether we are ethical enough to use these tools in our research. Using AI does not mean that I am entirely dependent on AI. I will again reiterate and put thrust on this, that using AI is basically using it as an assistant, as a support additional to me, wherein I am the researcher and I am doing the research. So I am the author, I am the brain behind the things, but it is just supporting me in a way that I can use better, and in a way I can use efficiently and quickly in my research, right? So the first thing wherein we can use ChatGPT and ethically use ChatGPT, I would say, these are, let me say, first of all, it will help you to identify, to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism, is actually a very big concern when we talk in the research industry, right? We have to be very sure of the things, that the plagiarism does not happen whenever we are researching. It should not be picked up from somewhere, just reiterated in my own words and just put forward as a research. So ChatGPT will actually help me to avoid plagiarism. If I am saying ethically I have to avoid plagiarism first of all. So how can I ethically, avoid plagiarism, then use ChatGPT as well? The simplest way to do that is, don't just copy paste whatever ChatGPT is giving you. Never ever just directly copy paste from the ChatGPT, whatever it is giving. Just keep your senses alive. Just use ChatGPT's to give you an idea, the outline of it, and then rephrase, reiterate, and rewrite the content. Always rewrite the content. Never depend on ChatGPT for an entire end-to-end research writing. That is not right, and that is also not ethical. Second, you should always cite the AI that you are using. Anytime if you are using the AI, you can put it in your references part that I am using this AI. You will clearly cite that. That will actually help you only, and also the users that are consuming data from your paper. They'll be very beneficial. They'll be very, thankful to you that you have already mentioned and given the sites that you have, the AI sites that you have used. Keep it well cited. Everybody should know that yes, okay, you have used AI, which is the the thing in today's world. You are using it, but at the same time, you are using it very ethically, right? Using AI is not bad, but using unethically the AI terminology is actually wrong for the research. So we will just stick that we are using AI in the right context and in the right senses of it. Next, never ever outsource your critical thinking. See, the only difference that we make as humans is that we have our own brain, right? Whenever we say that AI is going to overpower me, or any technology that comes into this, in this world is going to overpower humans, it is, as a word, it is not possible. It can be better at doing things, it can be efficient at doing things, it can be quick at doing things, but it can never overpower humans because of three main reasons. The first being that humans have a power of critical thinking. We have, that sixth sense of things. We feel things, we have emotions. Number two, these devices don't have emotions. Sometimes decisions in research taken on an emotional level, right, prove to be much more beneficial than the logical ones. Many times it has happened, So you have to be critically aware of where you are using things, and your brain has to be critically active. It has to be critically thinking 24/7, because you are the researchers. You are using ChatGPT only as your support, as an assistant. That ChatGPT is something like, that these AI tools, not only ChatGPT, all the AI tools are just like those Aladdin ka jinn. You can ask them, they will reply, but they cannot do the research for you. It is your part, it is to be done by you only. So very clearly that we should never outsource our critical thinking. The critical thinking has to be done by me. The interpretations, the logics behind my research are mine, and I am going to build those. I am going to use those, right? I cannot just outsource it to ChatGPT. Then we have to be aligned with the policies that my institution gives me. Certain universities have these policies. They have their checks in place that whether the AI is being used, whether ChatGPT is being used, or any generative text is being used. So just align to those. Just align very clearly to all of those policies. Just align yourself to, respect those policies also. That yes, okay, if these policies are in place, these policies are in place because of any suitable thing they have thought through this, that yes, these policies have to be in place, right? So basically, if I just give you a context of it, you have to align with the university policies as well as use the chat gpt as your assistant, right? Now let us just quickly take a demo of it. I'll just open up the ChatGPT part and we'll take a quick demo of it, right? Let's go with, I'll just open ChatGPT. I'll just share my screen once it is open, right? Just a second, let me share the screen now. right? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Great. So now we are just going to use ChatGPT to basically understand what we said. We are going to brainstorm a thought. We are going to, structure a bit of the research. We are going to find a gap in the research with the literature. On we are going to also use this same ChatGPT to structure and to summarize and give me abstract of things. So let us do one thing. I'll just take a random thing. I'll put in chat gpt that it should help me with the impact of climate change, right? I'm just taking a random thing, the impact of climate change. Okay, impact of climate change. I'm giving him the topic and I'm going to ask him, suggest me an outline for a research paper on the topic, right? Now see, this result that I have got, it gave me a title, the impact of climate change and global consequences of local realities. It gave me an introduction. It gave me causes. It gave me environmental impacts. It gave me societal and economic impacts. And it gave me regional responses of mitigation strategies, adaptation strategies, future outlook, and conclusion. So what it has basically given me, if you see, it has given me a structured outline of how my paper should look, right? It has given me a structured outline of it. The introduction part, the causes part, the impacts part, and different case studies that I can involve in, and the responses of mitigating that strategies. This is basically for me as a researcher, for my consumption to understand the thing. It is not just for, just for copy pasting this quickly and get started with writing the things. It is for me, for my consumption. It is for me, for my consumption and for my understanding. Now, this is just one prompt that I gave that suggests me an outline. Now, sometimes we are brainstorming the thing. We don't know what research we can do. So I just have a broad area like climatic change. Or for that, I will take the yesterday's thing, the regional it was religious travel, right? Religious travel. So I can ask this tool, help me find research topics on the area of religious travel wherein I can research. Now see, once I have just entered this thing, it is giving me basically the areas where I can, understand, where I can put my research brain into. So it is giving me some socio-cultural topics like the evolution of pilgrimage in the 21st century. It is giving me the economic way of it, the economic angle of it. It is giving me the environmental angle of it. So after that, this is just assisting me. Now, I cannot just directly take this, copy this, and use this as a research paper. That is not right. You have to just understand the idea. Now, after this also, it is giving me many ideas of it, that what research I can do, what research I can start with. So now I can dig down into this also. If I'm saying that, okay, I wanted to do this. All right. Can you suggest me some already done researches in the area? Now see, I'm asking him to suggest me the areas wherein the research is already done on this. Just wait, let it come. So broadly, it will just give me from the pool of resources that is available in the open source. It is give me the exact researches that are there, that exist. So here are some noticeable studies. Number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this, number 4 is this. So this is the first thing that I did. I did brainstorming of those things. They have helped me. So you can see this is in Taylor and Francis, this research study. This research study was in MDPI. This is from ResearchGate, it is taken. In books, comprehensive studies are there, right? This is how it can help me in brainstorming things. So first thing was brainstorming. Second thing is what? Second thing is to structure a research, to help me, summarize a thing. Now, I will take another example wherein I will just take a paper. I'll take my own paper itself. Just a second. So I'll just take the abstract of my paper. I'll go to ChatGPT. Help me understand the research from the abstract. I just paste down the entire abstract. Now see, just in seconds, it is giving me the main focus was neuromarketing, right? It is a combination of neuroscience and marketing, that how the brain works and how the products are sold basis the brain works, correct? It gives me how to look into the combination of things for better understanding of consumer behavior. Key concepts that would be explored would be emotional triggers, cognitive biases. Practical implementations would be there, that there would be real world case studies, interactive games in the paper, and the ethical concerns, right? Correct? So this is the entire conclusion of the paper that I got from this ChatGPT. So this is how ChatGPT can be used. There can be n number of factors that cases where we can use ChatGPT also. This is summarizing. Now, what I did was I elaborated this entire neuromarketing abstract into understanding of the abstract. Similarly, what I can do is I can copy the entire paper, put it in here, and then get the see. Now, what we will do is we'll get a paper on neuromarketing. Let's see what we get. I'll take a ResearchGate paper. Right, I'll go here. I'll select the entire paper. I know it will be selecting all the other parts also. So what I'll do is this would be sufficient. It is half of the paper only, but it will be sufficient for us. I'll paste it here and I'll just write, help me understand this research in 100 words. So basically, what would be there is, so basically what this helped me is, it told me that the paper would be talking about what neuromarketing is. It is using tools like the EEG, the fMRI, the eye tracking and galvanic skin responses. It is also talking about some studies of Microsoft, PayPal and Hyundai to optimize the design, how they optimize the design, messaging of them and advertising of those, those companies. And it is basically telling me about how neuromarketing is reshaping the marketing strategies. This is what the paper was about. So with this, I can use, hundreds of papers I can just go through quickly. So that is the power of AI. That is the basic power of AI, and that is using it ethically also. I'm not using it for any copy paste thing. I'm just using it for my own understanding, for my own using of this thing for my own benefits, for my own research quickness. That is what is important in the field of AI and in the field of research, right? Now, let's quickly move ahead. Without wasting any time, we will, okay, first of all, let me just ask if there are any questions on ChatGPT. Any questions that are in your mind?
No, sir. No, sir.
No? Okay, so ChatGPT part is clear. I'll just also check the chat box. Yeah, nothing is there also. So now we will move on basically to our next very important tool, and that is Semantic Scholar, right? So Semantic Scholar is, again, just like we used the research, it is basically another important tool to help me find the research findings which are available in the public domain. It is being used by many of the researchers. It is one tool that helps you broadly to understand what number of papers are existing. Sorry, anybody saying something? No. All right. So it is basically helping me as a researcher to understand what number of papers, what number of work, how much amount of work is being done in a research area around a particular topic and around a particular area of research. With the massive volumes of academic literature being published in the society, it is very easy, it is very easy to get overwhelmed while seeing for, for relevant and credible resources that we are getting. We have to be very sure that these resources are credible. These resources are not, just fake somewhere from a fake portal. So that is exactly where this Semantic Scholar comes in. It gives me a free tool. It gives me a free AI powered tool that is basically, actually, it is developed by the Allen Institute, and it will help you to identify quality relevance papers. It will help you to research into the areas of correlation of my research very quickly and very efficiently. Okay, so just like if I say Google Scholar is there that we use, just like a search engine, it will be there and it will be throwing up results. To me, as a researcher, it is very important that it gives me a significant idea of the research. as well. So it has some key features that are there that are very helpful as a researcher, that are very handy. So see, there can be n number of AI tools, but if we mix AI tool, B AI tool together and then generate a result, it saves time as well as it improves my efficiency also. So we are also going to use how to use semantic scholar ethically, right? This tool can also be unethically used. Copy a paper, paste it, just change the language so that the plagiarism doesn't come in. People also do that just to just to show themselves in the public domain. But today we'll learn how we can use this semantic scholar ethically. We have to be understanding this thing, that ethical things are very important. So first of all, before we move on to actually using semantic scholar, I'll just tell you some of the key features of it. First of all, the very big key feature of semantic scholar is that it gives you the, in context of your queries, it gives a smart search engine, which helps me in finding the right paper, which helps me in finding the right researches around my things. Second, it actually gives me a citation index, I would say, or it gives me a citation context. It not only shows me that how or where a paper is cited or how many times a paper is cited, it actually tells me some influential citations that the paper has got, which are very important in the research area. It will tell me, like, not only which paper is cited more, but which paper is actually cited by a very credible resource, right? It also helps me to identify the connected papers that exist in the domain. It creates a map of the papers which help me in understanding which papers are there in the context, right? Which I can use. It provides me a a visual map of the things, and those visual maps I can use, that okay, this research has been used here, then similar research has been done here, and okay, this is a correlation between the research. And this is incredibly helpful for understanding when we are talking in a field of landscape or in a research landscape field, right? Then it not only gives you the paper titles, it gives you some contextual summaries of those papers, that what the paper actually talks about. Sometimes the title can be misleading. The titles can be like, the title are saying something else and the research down the line is not exactly pointing to what the area was talking about. Okay, so it actually gives you some pen down summaries also, some crisp summaries of the researches. Each article comes in, and that is AI powered only. Okay, that context is AI powered. After that, it also gives you, which is very important in the research area, it gives you an author index. So the author index, by the author index I mean our papers have H index, right? Which tell us the the weight of the paper and the weight of the research, how important the research is. It gives me an index of an author like that. It gives me the influential score of an author, that where it is cited, how much is it at index, what are the other indexes that the author has. So that even if you want to talk to an author of a paper, you will be very clear in your head that this is the author I want to reach out to, and this is the author I want to talk to. This would be very, very beneficial if we are talking about something in the research area. Very important that we are very clear about what, that the research is being fetched from a right source and the author is credible. So key features of semantic scholars can be: number one, it gives me a search engine. Number second, it can help me with citation of the paper as well as the citation contexts. It will help me in finding a connected paper, which are the similar papers in my area. It will help me to summarize the paper quickly then and there. Like what we do, we select a paper, we will put in ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT will give me a concise paper. It is doing that for me at then and there place itself. So I'm very happy with it. Like, okay, yeah, I got this. I got a semantic scholar. I searched a paper and I'm getting a brief summary of it. So that's helpful for me also as a researcher. It saves me time. I don't have to use another tool. It gives me an author influential score or an author index that helps me to know that, okay, yeah, the author is right. This author is correct. This author is right for my paper or for my research. That is where semantic scholar will come in. Okay. Now we will see that how we can use semantic scholar in our research. Like if I have a research, how can I use semantic scholar into it? So you can actually use semantic scholar during the research process, when you have started the research process, or even when you are just actually beginning the research. The research you are beginning, just starting the research. You find out the topic. All right, now is the phase that you are going to analyze and find the literature and read the literature, right? So after that, the first step that comes in is obviously the literature review. You will start, something, you will type in your research in some areas, in Google Scholars, in anywhere, wherein we can have the papers flowing in, maybe in Research Rabbit or anywhere else. So first thing is that what we do is, we will, if we are using semantic scholar, we will use, first of all, we will type in the box a query that would be telling me from where the papers will be fetched. So it will give me a list of all those papers. Second, the step number 2 would be, it will help me in tracing the influential work. So let's say I am searching something about, in a research where I am searching about religious tourism. So it will help me find out the influential work, the influential things that have happened around that domain, what people have been doing in that domain. What are the top papers of that area, of that domain. That is what it will help me. It will also help me in increasing the reading efficiency. I told you that it will give you a concise, crisp thing that I can use as reading and understanding the paper. Correct? So it will emphasize basically on helping you as a user. So there is a feature, I have not introduced that feature yet, but I'll tell you. There is a feature which is called as, TLDR, right? So basically what TLDR helps me with is, it will help me to decode a paper very easily. So basically TL is too long, right? And DR is your description. So too long description, it will just shorten it up for me and give me the research area and the summary of that paper. So that is a very important and very, very emphasizing tool that this semantic scholar comes in with. After that, it will follow the citation trails. It will follow the citation trails, like this paper was cited here and this citation was being used here, this citation was being this. So once you click in semantic scholar, once you click on citations, you can get further, allowing you to go backward and forward from one citation to other citation, from other citation to next citation, or to move back. So it helps and it adds that layer to your research literature finding, right? It also helps you with saving and organizing papers at a place. Since it is a free tool, you can just log in with your email IDs on that tool, and then you can create a repository of your papers. You can create a section there wherein a repository of your papers would be there, and you can save and organize your work in there, right? Using all these structured approaches, using all these structured methods, I would say, right? You can actually have very quickly decode which papers are right, which papers are wrong, which paper I need to study, and how I need to quickly, justify things in my research and how I will use it. So let's now move in to using semantic scholar. So before that, has anybody used semantic scholar from in the past? Anybody? Who has used semantic scholar earlier? No. Okay. Professor PK Mishra is saying no. No. All right. So we'll take a bit of time in this then. All right. So let's just move on. I'll just open this bit. Semantic scholar. So I hope the screen is visible now. Screen is visible now? Is the screen visible?
No, sir.
Now is it visible, this semantic scholar screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
Great.
Yes.
Great. So see, just type in semantic scholar and this first thing will be open. Let us open the semantic scholar. Right? So now see, the first thing that I told you in the steps was we are going to type a research topic. Just give me a random research topic, anything. Let me just, or I will put it AI in healthcare. This would be like something. I have just typed in AI in healthcare. So see, just like Google Scholar gives me papers, right? It gives me a list of papers, correct? And the papers come with a date, 15th of March 2024. This is Medicine and Computer Science, and he is the author of the paper, correct? Now, if I just move to this side, you can sort these papers basis the citation count, basis relevance, basis the most influential paper, and basis recency, correct? These are different ways. So let's see those one by one. Citation count. Now, the more the citation count, this paper has got around 1636 citations. This is 502. This is 289. And you can see in the form of maps here that in which year it has got how many citations. This is the benefit that this tool adds in. See, these much citations, and in 2 years, the paper is there. Now, even after that, you can search and sort this basis the most influential papers in this area, like AI in healthcare. We'll do this. This is the most influential paper. So in the most influential paper, you can even find the most influential 69 citations, right? We will go into this paper and we'll find out these 69 influential citations also, so that they help me in understanding better that how this paper was cited, where it was cited, and what it brings to the table, right? Now I would next just go into this. Just give me a random research topic that you all are using, any of you is using.
Sustainable rural livelihood and rural development. Yesterday's.
All right. Sustainable rural livelihood, right? And employment. Let's see what it gives me. Okay, so it is giving me multiple papers on the topic, and I will just, this is the citation count I will. So there is one paper, this, which is 55 citations. And this paper is being cited right from 2011 till 2023. And this paper is published in 2009. All right. And these are the two authors. So one by one we'll go. We'll just click on this paper first. All right. So you see, you get, this is the corpus ID that the paper has. All right. So we will expand this. This is the abstract of the paper. And these, if you go down, are the figures and tables used in the paper. So this is what this tool helps me with to get a quick idea of the things. All right, if you just go on these, you can understand very quickly that where this paper comes from and what this paper talks about in the sections. Now, if I just go here, see this. This paper had 55 citations. If I see all, the background citations, wherein it was cited for the background. The background citations are 13, methods are cited once, and the results are cited twice. So if I click on the background, here is where the paper was cited, those 13 references. Correct? Then also I talked about a very important thing in this, and it was, I talked about TLDR. So here it is. When you just search the paper, I searched this topic, enter. It gave me results. And you see this out here is what is called your TLDR. This out here. Right? And this semantic scholar is also useful because it gives you a very handy tool to filter out the right paper. You can choose the paper from field of study. Correct? You can select the date range, that you don't want recent papers, you want previous date papers. You want those papers only which have a PDF in it, the authors you can cite, and the conferences also where it was published. Now see, this is about the paper that we are talking. Also, you can search 2009. If I click on the author, so this person, Mr. Amoshi, he has 204 publications. He has an H index of 15, and the citations, he has been cited for around 1400 times. And there are 59 highly influential citations for this person. And here is some of the work that he has done or contributed. So you can very easily, go and find authors and how they have actually worked, what their work talks about. See, this is what Semantic Scholar actually helps you with. You can also, search some other author if you want to. I will search somebody of you who has some papers. You can just search your name here. Any one of you. All right, let me select somebody from the chat list. Yes, Bhupati, we will have that also. We will have that. All right. So, okay, let me just do one thing without just. So what you can do is you guys can search yourself in this, right? I'll just take a name and search. All right, no papers were found. All right. So this is basically why there came no result, because it is finding papers on sustainable rural livelihood and employment. So if I go into some other topic, I would put an author, it will give me the results also, right? This is the power of Semantic Scholar. Now I would want, any of you to just suggest that how you can use this tool, right? Just use this tool to understand what else you can do with this tool. Any of you has a thought that what else you can do with this same tool? All right. Now see, I just wanted to show you this one thing. There is a paper in governance model of AI application in healthcare, and this TLDR here, this gives me a shorter version of understanding the entire paper. So otherwise what I would have to do is I would have to, this is the abstract down there, this is my abstract, and this is my TLDR. This is what I wanted to show you. The TLDR part gives me a concise, crisp answer to what my paper talks about, right? So guys, any questions that we have on Semantic Scholar right now? Any questions? Are we having any questions on semantic scholars? No? All right. So now, since, yeah, okay. So now, since we don't have any questions on semantic scholars, we will head to, Bhupati's favorite topic, that is wherein we will make the infographics, and which talks basically about how to actually resonate. Now we are going to talk more about how to, to display your research findings, to create research PPTs, to create infographics, posters of your research, and lesser about how the research has to be done. Correct? So this tool, which is known as Canva, most of you would have used it. In the last session, we talked with Aditya, who is using it for content creation. So this is a very powerful tool and used by many people in diverse industries to make different things, to make videos, to make PowerPoint presentations, to make logos, to make, from a thing which is as little as making a table to as big as making a video. This tool is going to help you with that. All right. So first of all, let me tell you, when you think of Canva, whenever you think of Canva, what comes to your mind? What does come to your mind when you think of Canva? Because this is a very common tool. You can just speak up. What comes to your mind when you talk about Canva?
Browser creation.
Sorry?
Browser preparation. Invitation.
Preparation. All right. What else? What else? What else?
As you said, videos, logos.
Videos, logos, we think immediately like there will be posters, there will be social media graphics or something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
But let me tell you that Canva is actually a very sophisticated tool. It is a very powerful tool that can be used for, academic and research work too. It can be used from designing engaging presentations to basically creating data visualizations in a way that are more user friendly and that are more, user eye catching, that give them a more better way of understanding that, oh, good, this is basically what I wanted. This is how the research is actually coming out nicely now. So today we will be going through actually how to use Canva effectively for creating all those impactful presentations and for creating all those impactful research posters, or for creating not just a research work, but an appealing research work. Now, before we just move on, or before we just, jump into what Canva can help me with, let me just take a few minutes to just make you understand that wherein Canva can help me in research first. So first of all, if I talk about Canva as a research assistant for me, it can help me, number one, for creating research posters. When I talk about research posters, so today many conferences they have a requirement of a visually appealing research paper. It is just not a research paper wherein it is black and white and it is giving the research inputs. They also require a research poster along with it, which crisply concises their entire research into a brief framework, which is very appealing to the eye. Because as we yesterday talked, that most of the talking that our brain does, it does it in the visual form. Okay, and it is also very important to understand that the visual information travels around 60,000 times faster than the text, right? Second, it'll help you to create a very clear and a very professional design, and with also available templates. You will not have to do much of the brainstorming into the design aspect of it. You will get pre-built templates. You will just have to convert those things into your own thing, right? It will give you very professional looking things. It will give you very, it will actually enhance your design skills. Yesterday we talked about, we'll be talking design skills. It will actually enhance your design skills. You'll start thinking your research in a design manner, that how I will communicate this to my user in a designed way. It will help you design the infographics for your data, not just the posters, not just the things. It will also help you to create the infographics, right? To summarize your entire context, complex informations, complex tables, statistics, surveys, everything in a concise infographic, right? Which is actually very beneficial when you are presenting your research to somebody. Then it will also help you to create summaries of your research, which are much more social media friendly. So if you are sharing your research with the platform of larger audience, right, you would be wanting something which is social media friendly also. You cannot just, many of the people in the research industry now, what they do is when they publish, or when they publish somewhere, they just put the entire 8-10 pages in the LinkedIn, and then there is a PDF, entire PDF of it. You can just scroll through the entire research. They put and they share their research achievement like that. But wouldn't it be great that we can have an infographic wherein I can just understand this entire research? I'll be more interested to read out the infographic rather than going through the 8 pages of his research. Whenever anybody has, publishing anything good that I have been published in XYZ, in ABCD, or wherever he's being published. So always have a research poster. That's infographic will help you a lot in your research journey. After that, again, when we say that we are going to use Canva for designing all these things, we have to be ethical. We again have to be ethical in our decisions. We have to be ethical in thinking that the design is not just copied but well thought through. So whenever we use any such tool like Canva, the first thing that we should always do is we should cite the source. Also, because the Canva will have abundance of free things to use, but we should always cite. We should mention this in our citations also, that yes, we are using this Canva tool for generating this infographic or for generating this particular image that we are using in our paper. Second, whenever you are using Canva, Canva will excite you mostly because when we are thinking through in the research area and suddenly we see some good infographics coming in, we get excited. We actually get excited because it is nothing black and white now. Now I can visualize my things into colors and everything. It gets exciting. So whenever you are using Canva, be ethical and be sure that you are using an academic tone into it. Always be, always be crisp on the things that, okay, I'm going to use this infographic and I'm going to use it like it sounds an academic paper. If it's an academic paper, it has to look like an academic infographic also, right? Then comes another thing, that you can also secure your data. Always secure your data when you are uploading it somewhere. If you are using a research paper, avoid uploading sensitive or unpublished data into Canva for, for designing, or, I would say in simple language, that avoid putting up all the unpublished, all the confidential data in Canva, because Canva is actually a pool of resource, right? It can use your free data for somebody else's work also. Somebody can find, if somebody is finding a similar thing, he can get a prompt to use that. So if it is unpublished, it is sensitive data, don't upload it directly, because that will be a breach of your research. Or if you are doing a corporate research, it will be a breach of contract also, right? Then always be consistent with your designs. Never ever make something which is, which is not consistent. Sometimes we make research presentations, sometimes we make, research things which are not as as consistent as they should be. If you're taking Canva, it will give you n number of things, it will give you n number of templates, n number of designs. So don't choose one design and then choose other design and then mix them. Just be consistent throughout your design. Choose the colors very informatively, that okay, now I'm going to choose this color. All right, this color will suit better, this color will not suit better, right? Now, since we are talking about design, it is better that we do it first, right? Rather than just talking about the design aspects of it, let's just get into Canva and see what we can make out of it, right? I'll just give you a quick walkthrough of it. Right? I hope the screen would be visible, the Canva screen. Is the screen visible, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So see, now let's head and see what we can use. So I'm just using a personal account here. We can just create, yeah. So see, this side is your working bar. It has the home, which will bring you to this specified platform. It will have my projects, that whatever I have designed. It will have some templates. You can add the layers or add elements from this. We'll see that in the later part of it. So first, let's understand what all we can make. We'll keep it crisp, that what design we want to make. What do we want to make? We want to make a research poster, let's say, right? We will search research poster, all right, and enter. As simple as that. It gives me templates of different research posters. Now, those with this crown, wherein it is written as pro, these will charge you, but there are free posters as well. See this, right? All these, they are there, correct? Now, after that, what we will use is, we will choose one of these. Let me choose one of these research posters. Right, I'll just choose this. Let me just keep it simple. So I'll choose and customize this template. So whenever you go, you have to choose that, click on it, and then select customize this template. Okay. Now I have my thing here, correct? This is my research poster. This is how it is going to look. All right. So see, first of all, understand what, first of all, choose wisely. Choose your research poster very wisely, wherein you can just don't have to make much of the toggles, just as it is, right? So what we are going to use is, we are going to use, Bhupati, what was your topic? What is your title? Can you just put it in the chat? The title
Yes,
of your,
sir.
quickly. Surekha, I'll just address to your thing. Just give me 1 minute. Huh? I'll address to that also. Yeah. So this is the topic. I'm just copying it, going here, and simply pasting it. Reducing the size of it a bit so that it comes in 2 pages. This is your title sorted. Then this is a brief introduction of it. What you will go? You will go copy this, go to ChatGPT, paste it, write, give me an 1-line explanation of this topic. Is it correct, Bhupati? Whatever is on the screen, this is what your paper is going to talk about?
Yes, sir. Statistical.
Let's say this is, or you can, I'm just copy pasting this. You don't just replace this part. All right. Similarly, if I move ahead, the introduction part, I can just take my paper's introduction, put it in ChatGPT, just get it in concise form, paste it here. What my broad objective is, place it here. What methodology I'm using, place it here. And all this content can be used, and this content can be created with the help of ChatGPT itself. So that is basically how helpful ChatGPT can get sometimes. And then let's say I need something for an infographic in this, right? I'll just copy this, or I have this all right. Would you like a short paragraph also? Yes. So it will just give me a paragraph as well, which you can just reiterate and put it in there. Now, I'll ask him, share a visual image depicting my research, right? So it will take a bit of time, and it will give me a image also. The same image I can copy and use somewhere where I can find in a space, just to make it more interactive and understandable, right? So let's say it would have generated an image, I guess. No. So it will take some time. By the time it will generate, slowly and steadily, I can just, work on this or create some other template as well. Use graphs out of this. here I have a graph. I can, if you click on a graph, see, if you click on a graph, you get all the values. You can just change these. This will be actual values that you will be using, right? So you can put in, like, I would say A, B, C, and D. Right? You will see that this graph now has things like A, B, C, D. All right. And similarly, you can do with the values also, and then use the same graph in the previous section of your paper here, if you want to just show, right? Okay. So this is basically how you can use ChatGPT and Semantic Scholar and ideally Canva for the research areas. And in here, I have not copied anything. In here, I have not, gone into something which is unethical. In here, I have not done anything that is misleading. I am being very ethical in my practices. I'm using very ethical terminologies. I'm using very ethical. I'm just easing up my work. I'm just speeding up my work. That is all I am doing with this. Nothing short, nothing, no shortcuts. It is basically helping me as an assistant, not as the actual author. I am the one who's using the brain. I'm the one who will be using the brain, and I'll be one who will be actually making the transcript and who will be actually making the paper, right? If I just go back, another step. Yeah, here. You would see there is an ample repository that we can use. Whichever you find creative, whichever you find good, you can just choose it and replace the text, replace everything, and you are sorted. This template is one very good template that you can use to ease or to tell somebody what your research, what your methodologies are in a one pager, or maybe sometimes when you're submitting something to your researchers, right? Just in 2 pages, you can summarize the objective methodology, results, conclusion, and analysis. That's it. And this is the explanation. See, this was the blank template, and this is the actual template that it has created. Right? So guys, any questions on Canva that you have? Any questions on the design aspect of it or anything? Because we will just, we'll just open up for questions because we don't have that much time also. So okay, I'll first take the question that was, so I prepared a questionnaire, but I don't have clarification for some statements because that was suggested by my guide. Is there a tool I can use? So Rekha, I have to be clear first, like was what were the statements like? If you can just tell me. Yes, Rekha, go ahead, please. Saving attitude. Can you be a little bit elaborative, like what actually? By the time, if anybody has some other questions also, you can put in. तो what I want is कि मेरे को थोड़ा understand हो जाए कि आप जिस चीज की बात कर रहे हैं वो क्या है. Sorry, क्या बोल रहे हैं?
Sir, this is the statement I added. I will add in the.
Okay, if I put money aside in order to become financially independent.
That was suggested by my guide. She said that you have to add this statement, but I don't have any clarification regarding this.
Okay, so
This
what
is-
is the title? What is the title?
Sir, financial planning retirement.
Okay, financial planning
Planning
retirement.
regarding retirement.
Okay, financial planning regarding retirement. So you are saying ki this exact statement she told you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So see, I'll answer it later. I'll see what the AI has to say first. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So see what we'll do. We'll just go here. I'll let it create what it is creating. So I think my screen would not be visible. 1 second, I'll just reshare. See now what I'm going to do. I'm going to use ChatGPT for this. So I'll say my research topic is financial planning for retirement, right?
Yes.
I have a question in my questionnaire. Sorry, I have a question in my questionnaire, which is where I have the question. This. Is it right to use this, or there is a better option? ये पूछ के I'll just leave. Let's see. So this suggests me, since we are talking about financial planning for retirement, so for retirement, I want to be independent by that time. So we are asking the user or the answer, the sample, that whether I would put aside some money in order to become financially independent. Matlab ki if I have 10 rupees or 100 rupees, would I be able to spare 10 rupees for my future? Will I save or not? But since this question is unclear, you can use it in this way. So should I save, or I regularly, this version would be direct. Will you save money to ensure financial independence during retirement? This will be one question. Now see, you cannot depend entirely on ChatGPT. If you put this question, I regularly save, this will be a yes, no question. You have to be, would you save this money or not?
Okay, sir. And sir, if they ask me from where you have this statement, then what will I say, sir?
No.
Like sources, they will ask.
When you are designing a questionnaire, nobody is going to ask you that from where have you bought this question. They will ask you why you have bought this question. So why you have bought this question, you have to be clear about that. So why you have bought this question? Because you want to understand that whether people are interested in sparing money or not.
Okay, sir. Okay.
For their financial independence in their retirement, right?
Okay, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So guys, any other question? All right. How and which? Okay. Thank you, Anjana. How and which AI tool will help to collect data for research purpose? Yeah. So what AI tools you can have to collect research data. Research data now you have to either collect from the secondary resources or from the primary ones. Now AI tools will not help you for the primary ones, but yes, there would be secondary tools that you can use. There would be secondary tools. Yeah, if you're talking about secondary tools, then yes, there would be n number of secondary tools that you can use. Okay, so let's say there is a tool which will help you basically for survey creation and distribution. There can be, there is a tool which is used in academic research. Qualitrix is a name, for then you can use for analyzing, you can use ChatGPT in itself. You can use even for suggesting a flow, you can use SurveyMonkey, you can use n number of tools for identifying. And ChatGPT in itself, Semantic Scholar, ChatGPT, they in itself are way more sufficient for you, right? To understand whatever data, whatever secondary sources data you will have, because they will give you referenced data. It will help you a lot in your research. So guys, with this, we are here on time. 2 minutes I have taken extra. So I hope you liked this session, and I hope that this session would be beneficial for you all in the later part of your research journeys, or wherever, whatever you're doing. You can just follow, always be in that group, always be in that group, and you can just drop in your questions if you have any. You can always connect, you can always have, I will again just reshare the window. You can always connect with me.